Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have been on a roll with this Wisdom of the Oracle this week. Let's see what we've got for today. Well, we got All That Glitters. We talked about that last week, and so I'm going to set this one aside. Yin. Yin is our feminine energy. We were just talking about that, and it's very appropriate, really, even with the All That Glitters. Yin, our feminine energy. We talked about inverted feminine energy and how that can block us from receiving because it's the overgiving. And when the feminine energy is in its higher expression, we nurture and we create. We're also in a very abundant and receiving energy. So if we're in this place where we're imagining our new life and we are creating all of these new things in our mind that we want to bring into our reality, we really got to be in a place to receive it. And what's sad, so many times that's where we block ourselves. We are very good at giving, not so much receiving. Now, the inverted masculine energy, when it's lower expression, is real good at receiving, but that's not great. Because then you're kind of crippled in your ability to take action. Because generally, when we are overly good at receiving, we tend to be in a victim mentality, not in our personal power, and allowing everyone to care for us because we don't want to take responsibility for ourselves. So everything has its flip side. But what I want to talk about today is the ability to receive, being open to receiving. And it goes back to, again, with the overgiving. If you are deriving your sense of value from giving, then receiving is going to be very difficult for you. And that's a blockage that keeps us from creating the things that we desire because we won't let it in. Can you imagine if, I know all of my references date me, but let's say Publishers Clearinghouse is at your door. You've won the grand prize, but you don't open the door. You never get the check. The universe is standing outside your door and they're like, hey, here's that thing you wanted. But you're like, oh, no, I couldn't possibly. No, I don't deserve that. The hell you don't. You deserve it. And when you're trying to create and you have that self-value issue, self-worth issue that says, I don't deserve that, or I give. My place is to give. Exchanging gifts, equal reciprocity, give and take. So many of us have gotten caught up with the martyr syndrome, believing that the highest value that we could offer is to give of our time, to give of our energy, to give of our money, give of our resources, give. However, if we're not receiving, and this doesn't have to be receiving from others, even receiving from ourselves, if we are not giving back to us, there's going to be a deficit. Like if you have a bank account with X number of dollars in it, and you give, and there's nothing else coming in, you're going to be overdrawn real quick. And that's where the yin feminine energy comes in, because when we nurture in the higher expression of the feminine energy, we don't just nurture others, we nurture ourselves. We don't just care for others, we care for ourselves. As a matter of fact, in the highest expression of feminine energy, that's your first priority. If you're familiar with tarot, the Empress, she is sitting back on the card, surrounded by abundance, obviously very chill, very secure in herself, very loving. However, she is a priority to her. And that's what we have to do. That's where we have to place ourselves to be at a level where we are comfortable receiving. We have to get rid of all of those things in our subconscious mind, in our behavior patterns, in our belief systems that lead us to believe that we don't deserve to receive. That if we take time for ourselves or do things for ourselves or prioritize ourselves, we're being selfish. That's where, it goes back to our childhood. And obviously, as a parent, if you have multiple children, this child cannot eat all the cookies and this child gets none. There has to be a balance there too. However, your perception of that as a child, depending especially on your parents' way of addressing situations like that, was that you were being selfish. And you're like, no, I just want the cookies. I like the cookies. What is selfish? you know, and so we develop these beliefs, just small incidents as our subconscious mind is developing, birth to age 7, absorbing the things around us. People will put labels on us that we, if we are not aware of them, will wear our whole life because we just liked cookies and wanted the cookies and now we're selfish. Psh, selfish. That becomes a label. And then in our effort to not have that impression of ourselves, we overgive, overgive, overgive because apparently that's okay. No, take all the cookies. I don't want to be selfish. You see how that creates baggage? And I know that's a extreme simplification, but it makes it easier to understand. So when we're like, look, I've got cookies and I like cookies and I deserve cookies. You may have 2 of my cookies. I will share. However, I made these cookies. I earned the money to buy the ingredients to bake these cookies. I invested in my cookies. You did not. My cookies. However, I will share. I'm caring. I'm abundant. I can share. But you can't have all the fucking cookies. And it's just a balance. I think so much of where we struggle is just being out of balance in different areas of our life, and especially the feminine energy, because we've been in a masculine dominated society energetically for centuries, where the feminine energy has been disrespected, repressed, yuck. Well, on the flip side of that, because it was a male dominated energy, the masculine energy has become distorted as well. And getting those back to the highest expression, understanding how that operates, and then balancing them out so that you can operate out of both sides of it, that puts you in the position where, and I was trying to remember the exchanging gifts, what we had for Monday. You are in a place where you are nurturing yourself, you are taking actions, you are a creator because you're in your creative mind, but you logically can make the plan to go forward and you have the stability knowing that you can accomplish these things, the confidence. I mean, that is the ultimate expression of your highest self, and it's available to you. It is available to you. It's not some far off dream. It's just a matter of getting rid of all the bullshit and the labels and the garbage we picked up when we were younger that blocks us. Because if we don't believe we can receive or that we should receive, we're not good at receiving, how are we going to get the gifts the universe is trying to bring us? You got to open the door. You got to believe that you deserve what's on the other side of that door. Because no matter how much action you take, if you are pursuing a dream and you get there and then you're like, but I don't deserve it. Really? You did everything that led up to where you were supposed to get the dream and now you don't deserve it? You're not worthy? And that's how, again, we block our own desires through our bullshit baggage that all we got to do is unpack the bags. And then things start to flow. Things start to come together. Things that used to be a struggle are no longer a struggle because you're not fighting yourself. And because Again, the feminine energy, investing in you, nurturing you, caring for you. Your relationship with you is the only one that is guaranteed to last your entire life. That should be your priority, because you can't divorce you. You can't take a time out from you. You're going to have to work that one out. Um, so, again, understanding that we are worthy of receiving. Our value does not come from giving. Our value is intrinsic. You deserve good things. You deserve to receive the gifts that you desire in this lifetime, to live the life that you imagine for yourself, your ultimate highest expression of your personal gifts in an environment that nourishes you, with people around you that bring you up, that help just build you instead of tearing you down. And a lot of times it's evaluating the environment we're currently in and the discomfort that's coming from it that is what motivates us to start making these steps. So if your life, if you feel about 2024 like, "Ugh, is it over yet?" Or even the last 5 years, it's been a rough ride, but it's because we're being pushed into this path of spiritual growth, into this path of like becoming our highest selves. And especially right now, it's such a good transitional time in the energy to address these things. We're very supported, especially during Pisces season, with the spirituality. So I get off on tangents. But absolutely, you are worthy of receiving and having the things that you desire in this life. Once you convince yourself of that, they'll actually start coming in. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.